Hi there, it's Olga, and I'm happy to be guest designing for Simon Says stamp today. The project I'm going to create is a see-through card featuring some dies from December 2018 release. To begin with, I have created a side folding card base out of Neenah Desert Storm cardstock. It measures 4¼ by 5½. I will also need 2 panels of the same size. The next element I'm going to need is the 2 panels, again the same size, but they are made out of acetate. I will also be using a couple of dies. They are wrought iron white border and Celebrate. I've die cut the border 4 times out of Neenah Classic Crest cardstock, 110 pounds. And I have also die cut this Celebrate sentiment out of the same cardstock 3 times. To create an element that is completely see-through, I will have to cut my card base into pieces. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm trimming off 1/2 inch strip from the fold of the card base. So this is the hinge that I have created. Then I'm going to take the remaining piece and trim it in half. I am placing both pieces of cardstock at 1 7/8 inch mark and cut them down, and this is exactly the width of the lacy border. So now I have 4 identical strips of cardstock and I'm going to use them all for this card. I will also need 2 additional strips that are slightly thinner than 1/2 inch. Before assembling the card, I'm also going to do some embossing, and I'll be using the embossing folder by Spellbinders. First, I'm going to emboss that thin hinge of cardstock. So I'm placing just the half of it into the folder. I have sent it through the machine, and this is the result that I get. Because this is cut and emboss folder, it also creates tiny cutouts, and now I'm just poking out the pieces. Next, I'm going to emboss only 1 strip of cardstock, the one that's going to be at the front. So I'm choosing the portion of the pattern that I like, placing the strip inside, and then I'm sending it through my die cutting machine. Again, the folder has created some tiny cutout elements, and because I want them to stand out a bit more, I'm going to create some white background for them. So I'm applying some liquid adhesive at the wrong side, and I'm sticking down some pieces of thin white paper. Once I'm finished attaching the white background pieces, I'm gonna start assembling my card. I'm applying some double-sided tape at the wrong side of the paper hinge, and then I'm sticking down the piece of acetate. I'm trying not to overlap the fold. This way the card will be easier to open and close. Then I'm attaching another piece of acetate at the opposite side. And this is how the project looks like at the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is layering all 3 lacy border die cuts. I'm applying some liquid adhesive and just stacking them all one on top of another, and I did the same with the sentiment. Then I'm going to attach this border to the card front. So I'm applying the glue again. I'm trying to apply as little as I can so that it won't show through, and I'm sticking it down. Next, I'm going to attach the embossed piece of cardstock. Because I have layered 3 die cuts to create the border, they have more dimension and they create a kind of step, which makes it very easy to align the strip of cardstock with them. They are not going to overlap each other. Then I'm going to attach the last 4th lattice die cut at the wrong side of my card. Because this is a symmetrical pattern, you can attach the pieces back to back, and they're going to look very nice actually. Because I have attached all the elements to the acetate, all the adhesive is showing at the wrong side of the card. So I'm going to use the remaining strips to cover it up. First I'm attaching the two strips, the thin and the thick one, at the wrong side of the card front. And then I'm moving on to the back of the card. I'm attaching the thin strip first. Then I'm going to close up my card base like that. And I'm going to attach the wide strip at the back of the card, just like that. I'm pressing it down to stick, and then I have to open up the card base again. And I'm attaching the strip at the wrong side of the card, aligning them with the pieces that I can see. Here you can see that some acetate is actually hanging off the edge of the cardstock, so I'm simply going to use my trimmer to trim it down. You can also do the same with the scissors. The next step is attaching the sentiment. I'm simply going to apply some adhesive at the wrong side of my layered die cut and stick it down onto the card front. All there is left to do now is to add some finishing touches. I'm simply going to add some pearls to the lacy pattern of the die cut. Pearls are really convenient to work with, they really improve the texture and add a very soft shine. Also, they are not overwhelming even if you add quite a lot of them. That finishes my project for today. Although this card has a wide border that is completely see-through, there is still enough space inside to write a message. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I wish you all happy, prosperous and bright year 2019. Bye!